I just watched it. I literally just finished it like 5 minutes ago. So
I just watched it again too.
Oh, did you?
What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to Movie of the Week, episode 111, dude. This was Mr. Hughes' pick. It's an Austrian movie based on a real serial killer. What's the guy's name again? I can't remember. Werner Nisek, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
Anyhow, the movie's called Angst. It's from 1983. I don't remember the director's name, but well, what's his face? Golly, the guy that did Irreversible.
Gaspar Noé.
Gaspar Noé rants and raves about this movie. That should have been my first hint.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched it. I tried to watch it the other day, and I just didn't have the time. And I was like, man, this is a foreign film. I have to watch it when I can focus. Like, and so Carissa was like, hey, we're gonna be driving. It'll be dark. You can like watch your phone and like listen to your. And I was like, so I drove half the way up to Austin so she could drive home because we were gonna flip flop it. I was gonna drive home, and so I got to watch it in the car, which was kind of nice. It actually worked out pretty well because when you're in a dark ass car, that little screen, if you're just staring at it, it can feel pretty big. You ever look at a phone screen and feel like it's larger when you're in a dark ass room? It was weird. It's a weird dynamic. I wouldn't want to watch all my movies like that, of course, but in a pinch, it'll work. But so I did just watch it, so I'm pretty fresh on the film. Hugh, why you had seen it before? I take it. It sounds like you watched at least a couple of times now. Why'd you?
Yeah,
pick this
I've probably
movie?
seen it 5 times.
Good
I don't know.
Lord.
It's just a solid little, hour and 20-minute horror movie that is just freaky as hell. I didn't really know that it was a true story until I started trying to prep for this show. And then I was like, oh shit, this is based on true events. So that was sort of surprising to me.
So that's see, I had the opposite experience. When I found out it was true, I was like, that explains so much because seemingly what they did was they just took what happened and they made a movie out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah, I'll just like, I'll spare you no suspense, dude. I absolutely fucking hated this movie. Like it was like, there are some good things. There are some, it wasn't depressing at all to me. I literally, I had like, I've never in my life looked at the time left on a movie so frequently, but there was some good things about it. So I want to know why, but I want to know why'd you pick it? Because if you'd already seen it, I'm a little surprised that you picked it.
It's a little psychological exploration in there. At the end of the movie, they're like, he was abandoned and never had a stable home. So it kind of makes you wonder about the whole nature versus nurture argument. But it's a rough one. I really did it to impress you.
Rough one for like, okay. So, oh man, I was dreading this conversation for like the last hour, just so you know. I was really, well, because I didn't want to I don't want to we're friends. Like, I don't enjoy shitting on a movie that my friends like. So I was like,
shit all over it, dude.
Well, it's not bad Milo, okay? So we're not, we're, look, so, okay. First
not
and foremost,
literal shit.
Right? First and foremost, I do want to give a couple of chunks of praise to the movie. I don't want to start off on a negative note. Let me tell you what I did like about the movie. I liked the camera work. There was a lot of interesting camera work, and the movie's super old. It's like 83, dude. I think is what year it is. And to my understanding, they didn't have the ability to do it easy back then, what they were doing with this movie. So a couple of the shots I didn't care for, but overall, I thought the camera work was pretty great. And I have Josh to thank for that because I probably wouldn't have noticed it if I didn't know Josh.
It's weird. That's one thing I was tripping out throughout the whole movie. It's like, because a lot of it, even when they're just like following them through a room, the camera's like super high angle.
It's like some of it looks like it's attached to him even.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, but everything is like looking down on him from above. It's like the call it like a god's eye view almost.
But it's still swinging around with him and like following him around. And
stuff. I guess the word like is probably the wrong word. I appreciated the camera work because there was a lot of it that I was like, because unfortunately, we're in 2022, so I've seen all kinds of camera work. So when I look at something that's from the 80s that's awesome, it's almost hard to appreciate it. It's kind of like watching, I think I figured out that that's exactly why I don't like movies like The Exorcist, because I watched all the other shit before I watched that. So when I watched that, I was like, that's it. And so I think that is where my perspective lies, is it lies in, I've already seen all this fantastical stuff. Well, with a movie that's got crazy camera work, I've already seen all the crazy camera work, but they've got all the tools to do it easily. So I don't necessarily have the, I guess maybe now that I've been talking film and stuff for so long at this point, like I can grasp it, but like, dude, 2 years ago, I've been like, what camera work? Who gives a shit? Like, I wouldn't have cared at all. So it's cool to know that I can appreciate things that I might not have even in the recent past. But and then obviously the kill scene with the girl, I thought it was pretty cool. I guess I mean, look, in all fairness, I'm stretching to find like good stuff about it for me. So I don't know. I was shocked when Chris said he liked it after I watched it. I was like, oh shit, he liked this. So I was all pumped. I was like, hell yeah. So I started watching it, and then like 22 minutes in I was like, what the fuck is going on, dude? And I was like, when are we gonna do something? Because he's just like walking around thinking to himself, and I'm like, fuck, bro, this is so.
I like the reasoning. Like he's like he is so detached from reality. He's just living in his imagination, and this whole thing is like this fantasy. And as this whole situation is unfolding, he's describing like, oh, this is the freaking key to my dreams, kind of. And it's creepy to me, like to think that a real person is just, you know, so clued in on what they're doing, and it's just a fetishization of murder, I guess. And it's really weird to me. Plus, it's in German, you know, so I like that.
Well, I just found out it was Austrian. Like, guys, like there was like an Austrian made movie. I kept calling it a German movie, and I was talking to Chris about it, so I assumed it was a German movie. But Josh, what do you think about the movie, Josh? What you like? What you dislike? Did you like it? Did you not like it? How'd you feel about it?
I liked it. I wouldn't say that I loved it. There was definitely like it's like a real time experience. You're just following this guy through. So there is like some times where it sort of dragged.
Oh, this could have been a 30-minute movie, dude.
I definitely was looking at the time in certain spots. I was like, okay, let's go. Yeah. You know,
well, they watch him. They watch him wash his arms, and I was like, okay, this could have been clipped a little shorter. I don't mind like a whack, washing arms, whack, doing this, and then it goes bam, bam, bam. But the whole entire process of cleaning himself up, I was like, bro.
When I watched it again just now, I fast forwarded through that whole scene. I was like, damn, it's only got, you know, it was like 20 minutes of him running around and cleaning up.
Well, there's 20 minutes of him talking about what he thinks he might want to do, and nothing happens in the whole movie. Like the whole movie is just nothing happens. I just don't like. And then when he's like choking that lady out, I've never seen worse portrayal of choking, and it just was so bad. And I don't know, man. Like I can appreciate like what you said you liked about it. I understand that. It's just not my cup of tea. So that part of it, I'm like, okay, I guess, but I don't like that kind of stuff, or I don't. That's not the right word again. That's not something that I focus on. So
no.
But I don't know, man. I was like in the car, and I just kept like shifting, and Carissa could tell she's like not enjoying the movie, and I was like, I was like, you know, and I was like, it's in German, and she's like, oh boy, and I went, but he's not yelling. So you know what? That is a positive, dude. That's a net positive for this, because I was positive I was gonna mute this shit, but they weren't yelling at all.
Yeah.
And it was so much less abrasive. So I kind of have to thank you for that, because the only experience I have with German language stuff is mostly like real active, real
even when they talk in normal voice, it sounds like they're yelling a lot.
Yeah, so like this is my very first experience in hearing that language and not being completely turned off by it. Like I genuinely mean that. Like I actually do appreciate that, because I really don't care for that language much, for the most part, but apparently there's a whole nother side of that language that's softer and a little more palatable, and that matters when I watch a lot of foreign movies. So, you know, there is stuff you could take from this, even for me who didn't enjoy it, quote unquote, that I could take from it to learn from and use it to pick things in the future because of. But I feel like if Gaspar Noé hadn't talked about this film, nobody would have cared about it. That's how I feel about it. I feel like that's pretty accurate. I'm pretty positive. Yeah. I read a lot of reviews on it in the last like 30 minutes, and every fucking one of them mentioned Gaspar Noé liking it, and it talked about how it was this fucking brutal movie, and I was like, there's nothing brutal about it. The movie was not brutal. It wasn't scary. It wasn't brutal. It was barely a thriller, like, in my opinion, of course.
Yeah, I don't agree. I'm more on Hugh's side with that. You know, I do think
it's creepy.
Pretty, yeah. I mean, it's pretty disturbing. I don't know how you. I don't know.
I live in Houston, man. This shit happens like that every day out here, man. It's not. I don't know.
It's not bloody and visceral enough.
No, I don't care about that. I can take not bloody and visceral. The movie I'm picking for the week is not bloody and visceral, and it's very disturbing.
Okay.
I guess. I think it's the way that they told the story, because I mean, obviously, murdering 3 people is pretty gnarly, but I didn't get affected by this. Maybe because they did it in real time. and it was so many like peaks and valleys. So there's like a little spot where you're like, oh, here we go, because there's like about 4 times in this movie I got like ready to rock, and I was like, oh, all right, here we go, and then it just kind of went right back down. I mean, all that just for the dude to get caught by the, I don't know, man. Like I just, but it's a real story. So I mean, this is why movies are based on real events and not real events.
Yeah, in terms of storytelling, it's not like your grade A, like Martin Scorsese, like you know, quick cutting, you know, well paced, like everything flows together type of movie. It's just not that.
I mean, it's pretty established that at least you and I find different things creepy and what's the word, like not disturbing. I think we kind of think similar things are disturbing, but like, you know, creepy, like scary. Like you thought The Witch was really scary. I didn't think The Witch was scary at all. And I mean, visceral and violent definitely has something to do with it. I'm not going to say that I just don't care about that, because of course I do, but I don't lean on it like as much as I used to, is what I'll say. That's how I'll say it. I don't lean on it as much as I used to. But yeah, you definitely have a point with that. If it was a lot more fast paced, a lot, you know, if this had been like an episode of a mini series of guys that did heinous acts, I think it would have been effective for me a lot more, because the story is crazy, man. The guy gets out of prison and just goes and murders 3 people and then goes back to prison. So it's like, I mean, I don't understand why anybody would do that. That's fucking retarded. But like, but the portrayal of it on this particular piece of film didn't affect me very much.
Yeah, I just think that being that it is an experiential type of film, you're stuck with this guy. Just even if you're not.
That is true. You're stuck with this dude whether you want to be or not.
That was my point. Like you feel uncomfortable, and I think being stuck in, you know, and there's not always something happening. You're just kind of sitting there waiting for something to happen. It makes you feel uncomfortable, and maybe just don't like that feeling, or maybe you didn't get that out of it. But
I think there's 2 lanes. You're either going to feel uncomfortable or you're going to feel bored. Because on all those reviews that I read there was like, it would be like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 2 out of 10, and then it'd be like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 1 out of, and it was like a I don't know how to say it. It was clearly more people liked it, and I don't know if I think a lot of people would like to fall in line with what everybody else is liking.
Sure.
I've done the same thing. I listened to bands that I wouldn't have listened to had my friends not liked them. So, I mean, I'm definitely guilty of that. But I think this is one of those types of films. Hugh, I'm not surprised at all that you like it. I think that you genuinely like it. I have no problem believing that.
I think it's curious that you read some reviews. Like you normally,
that surprised
you're
me.
like no reviews, and then this prompt.
I don't usually like reviews, but I do whenever. Hey, look, here's the thing: whenever I watch a movie that I know one of my friends likes, and I automatically don't like it at all,
you're just trying to find out.
I'm generally trying to figure out. Generally, at least at first, going, okay, did I miss something? And so I'll read some shit to go, crap, I gotta go rewatch this because I didn't understand that blah 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 happened. This one was a little more cut and dry, so maybe I didn't have to. But part of it was also like looking up names and stuff. I just kind of came across a bunch and so started reading them. And you know how it is. You start reading those things, you just start falling in a rabbit hole. They were all on IMDb, if that gives you any inclination as where I was at. I was on there looking for like names and stuff to spell correctly. But I don't know. I don't hate the movie. I don't know if I'd watch it again. You know what? I do kind of want to watch it again off of Tubi because it is short. It's like what, 82 minutes or something like that, 85 minutes. But so watching it with no commercials might be a little better because I'm telling you, man, in the car I told Krista that I was enjoying the commercials more than the movie. And while that's definitely not true, like I was saying it to be cheeky, but like take the commercials out. Let me watch the whole flick. Do you have a copy of this, Hugh, or do you watch it on Tubi as well?
No, I've streamed it a bunch of times.
Okay. Was it on Shudder or something?
Oh man, I don't remember. I sort of went through this German movie phase because I was taking German.
Yeah.
And then I watched a bunch of German movies sort of just to get a feel for the cadence of the language and things like that. So
for sure.
And then I was like, oh, German horror movies, because I got off on the Der Todesking and the Necromantic and that Jörg Buchbinner.
I haven't seen Necromantic in a while.
Yeah, he's a weird one. And then I found Schramm, which is another one, and then Angst. And all of them are, I mean, that's something I really liked about the movie in general is it's just super raw. Like when he's tying the chick to the door, he like grabs her ankle and ties her ankle to it. And it looks, it's like, it doesn't look like it's really that well planned. And it's like, man, why the hell would you do that? But then, and she's kind of fumbling around, he's dragging people around. And it's just like a very laborious kind of
I did think about that. I was like, God, how hard was it be to carry that old woman around when she's like dead weight?
It really felt like a legit murder scene. You know, he's dragging these people around. He's dragging them through the hallway. He's wrestling them down. He punches the old lady's teeth out. Like it's messy, man. And you think about,
I don't know, man. I hate that I don't understand that.
I think it's odd that a lot of serial killers too enact. Don't get me like all on some weird tangent, but a lot of violence is directed at. A lot of violence is directed at the elderly and elderly women in particular. And I'm like, you know, they're particularly helpless. I don't know why anybody would, you know, perpetrate a crime on the elderly. Maybe that's why, but it just makes it seem that much more vile to beat up an old lady. Like, damn, man, you're just a giant piece of shit for that. So,
you know what, that you saying that reminded me of something that I thought about 30 minutes in that I'm glad I remembered, because I wanted to say this with you guys to get y'all's reaction. It reminded me of A Clockwork Orange a little bit, and I fucking hate that movie. So there is that. There is that. Like, I can't help that I hate that movie. I just don't like it. So when it felt like that, I think had I known that before, maybe I could have braced myself a little bit. But there's no chance I'm going to like a movie that's like A Clockwork Orange, because I absolutely can't stand that movie.
Speaking of a movie that wants to make you feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah. And it's nasty and vile.
It makes me that one makes me feel more uncomfortable than most movies I've seen, because I have a real problem with assault, and I have a big problem with like beating up on homeless folks. I don't understand that shit at all either. But like,
there's another weird, you know, why would you do something like that to somebody kind of thing?
Well, in this movie, one of the issues that I had wasn't that, because I didn't understand the choice of lighting, and I understand that I think that they were going for, this is exactly what happened, which I can appreciate that. I just don't like that. I want to see a movie, and if you base it on a real event but you make it a little more dramatized, I'm going to enjoy it more personally. That doesn't mean anybody else will. I think that's just where, because I do analyze this stuff, I do think about it, and I do want to understand what's going on with me, because, well, I'm picking out at least one movie every month that we watch, so I want to know what's going on in my head. Like, I don't know, even if I don't like something, I want to know why. I'm a question asker, if you hadn't figured that shit out. Yo, so what's up, Julie? How are you?
Hey, what's up?
But yeah, man, I don't hate the movie. I think I might want to rewatch it if I can get it on something that doesn't have commercials. I do think that might help it.
Sure.
But, you know,
I'll be honest, I don't know that I liked it the first time I watched it either. Like, a couple of these, when I first dipped off into them, I was kind of like, man, that movie was stupid. And then I watched it again, and I feel like I liked it more.
Yeah.
Well, I will say that I'm 100% on that train, because I get so tired of people telling you, no, you didn't like this in March, so in like June, you have to not like it still. What if I've watched it 2 more times? What if I really liked it, and then I watched it again and was like, oh, never mind, I'm not really feeling that. Because both of those happen. It happens with music. Since I do so much music stuff, that happens with music. Dude, like regularly, man. Like, I mean, one of my favorite groups right now is freaking Haunted Mound. It blows my mind every time I say it, because I hated them when I first heard
Cemetery?
them. Yeah. Like, I've been told,
I listened to that song today. I was like,
dude, this is what it sounds like. And like, but I like it now. It is what it is, bro. I had to eat a bunch of crow, dude. Like, I had to like sit there and get shit on by like 500 kids. And there's still some kids that are like, you don't actually like it. You're just doing it for the clicks. I'm like, you're telling me that I could have chose Dimash, who would get me like 5,000 views, but instead I went Cemetery so I could get 126 views, and that's because I'm a poser. Like, no, I whatever, man. I'm just like, okay, guy, like, you're right, all right. But yeah, so I am willing to rewatch movies.
You're the least poser I've ever seen.
I'm a big ass poser. I don't give a shit. It is what it is. I don't care. Fucking poser. They'll call me a poser. But yeah, man, I wouldn't mind watching this one again one more time at least. But it would have to be like, it had to be on like a disc or something. I want to watch it without commercials, or on like Shudder or something. But
I'll keep them coming. I'll just get another one lined up here. We'll just go.
I will say we need to find some movies that are a little more what's the word? Known, I guess would be the word. Because I do want to, entice people to watch this channel. And if we're constantly pulling up movies that nobody's ever fucking watched, then nobody's going to watch the video on them until the channel's bigger. Now, when we have a fucking pool, then it won't matter. You know, once we hit 5,000 or 6,000 people, which I assume will happen at some point in the relatively near future if I can keep pumping out content. But, you know, there's always a time and place for a super underground movie. I mean, we do like those. But I'm gonna pop up with one that's got a pretty mainstream guy in it, so hopefully that'll kick it up and we can just ride the wave a couple more weeks. I'm curious as to what Chris would have said about this movie. He seemed to like it, so I'm honestly kind of glad that he's not telling me how much he fucking liked it.
Chris gets me, I think, and he's the only person I know who gets the Japanese horror thing that I'm into. And
I like all that stuff. I don't talk to you about it very much because I'm busy all the time.
He and I are on the same wavelength with a lot of this shit. I would be interested in hearing his input too.
Well, next time he has time to jump on with us, then I'll absolutely give him the floor for a few minutes to tell us his thoughts on this movie because, you know, that's what it's all about. Whether we all like it or we all hate it or two of us like it and two of us don't, whatever the score is doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
See, don't listen to your haters. You're awesome, dude. I knew I was awesome. Thank you.
I know. Thank you. I don't listen to any of my haters.
I definitely don't. I probably should sometimes. Shit, man. Fucking people are so.
Josh, do you listen to your haters?
Josh, yeah, all the time. Yeah.
You don't have any haters. Man.
Every day when they're screaming at him about service that he has no control over in his fucking job.
Right. Yeah. Why does my Wi-Fi suck?
You're like
because you suck.
46 miles outside of Houston and you don't have a modem set up correctly and you fucking. I love people. People are great.
I love when they complain and bitch about something. And then I show them something that they did wrong. It's like super simple.
You would do that shit too. By the way, had you done this?
I was like, can I show you something real quick? Like, you had this plugged into the wrong spot. And it wasn't like this before. Yes. Otherwise, it wouldn't have worked at all.
Dude, you're the last motherfucker I want in my house with electronic shit because I don't know nothing about it anyways. And you're going to be like, this fucking idiot. Hey, Randall, you know if you plugged it in, it would work. I'd be like, JK, I was just seeing if you knew that.
Yeah.
You're awesome, Julie. I gotta say,
Julie is awesome. Dude, she wasn't at the shop last weekend, and it was like real obvious.
Oh, yeah.
I kept walking down there and be like, "Oh yeah, you're not here," and just kept walking back like I fucking forgot like every couple of hours. But
bummer.
Oh man.
Did
anybody watch anything else this week? Because you've been off work for a couple of days. You get a chance to watch anything else?
A little bit. I went and saw Black Panther yesterday.
I enjoyed that movie quite a bit. How'd you like it?
I thought it was okay, honestly. I thought it was really long.
Man, I felt like it went by quick. Maybe I should rewatch it. I was also having a lot of fun with like 40 other people that I work with, and there was nobody else in there, and so it was just kind of fun. Like it was just a fun atmosphere. So who knows?
Yeah, I took the kids with me, and my daughter was definitely like getting real antsy after a while. So that probably affected it.
I wouldn't take Charlie to this one because it's so long. I'd have to watch it at home with her because she would definitely be like, "I want to go run around." I'm like, "Oh God."
Yeah,
normally those are pretty like awe-inspiring. Like my kids are always like, "Oh," when they watch a Marvel movie. I mean,
yeah, that's why I took it. That's why I usually wouldn't take her because she's only 7. But I was like, there's a bunch of female warriors and shit in this movie. I was like, maybe she'll dig it, but she wasn't. You know, there was parts of it she liked, but it was definitely way too.
I got super hyped when Riri showed up. I was like, "Let's go, let's go!" That's my shit, bro. That's a character I love. But
yeah, no, there's parts of it I really liked, but overall, I thought it was just kind of
what is this
sort of standard Marvel.
I watched a movie with Carissa, and boy, oh boy, do I want to talk about this for a second. I need to figure out if you guys have seen this. Hold on, let me remember the name of it. It's called Inca something or other. Hold on, it's a God, I can't remember what country it comes from. Hold on. Jeez Louise. I had it written down too. Oh, you know what? It's written down somewhere.
I'm going to start guessing.
Okay. Go ahead.
I got my guesses.
I thought you were coming with it. I was like, help me out here.
What?
Impetigore. It's called Impetigore.
Oh, yeah. That was going to be my next guess.
That's amazing.
It's a word I use regularly.
Indonesian. It's an Indonesian movie on Shudder that I got. Somebody told me. I think it might have been Jamie told me to watch it. Whoever told me to watch it was like, "Yo, watch this. You're gonna like it." And when they said it like that, I was like, "Hey, man, worst case scenario is I don't like it, I guess." It is a little bit long. It's 106 minutes, so it's like getting closer to 2 hours. But
I've seen it on the list. Yeah, but I've never watched it.
It's badass, man. It is one of the prettiest movies I've ever watched in my life. Like, I don't know how they got this movie to look this good. I don't know how they got the I guess it's most of its location. Because the whole damn movie, Chris and I kept talking about how fucking pretty this movie was, but the story is absolutely insane. And maybe that's why I wasn't so shocked with this other one, because I watched this last night, and this movie was wild. And it's scary, dude. It's a good-ass movie. Right now, it's got like 4.5 rating on Shudder, which, I mean, for a foreign movie to have that is pretty surprising to me. They do a lot of 3s on that kind of stuff because they don't want to read shit. But it's a really good movie. It's about this girl and her friend who are like toll booth operators, and one of them gets like attacked by this dude with a machete. And so they're like, you know what? Life's too short. Let's follow our dreams. So they go open up their own little store. And then the girl that was attacked finds out that she's part of a family that owns this house that's big, and they could sell the house and have some money to live on, her and her best friend. And so they go to this remote village to go look at this house and try to find out information about it. And then all hell breaks loose. I want to be kind of vague about that. I don't want to tell you what happens after that, because this is all in the first act. It's all real simple stuff that you could kind of guess. But when you get out there, dude, shit goes sideways. It's wild, dude. There's stuff in there that I was like, wait, and I had to like pause it and go, did that just happen? And she's like, Chris was like, yeah. I was like, hold on. We rewound it. And it was like, oh my goodness, like visual stuff. Like, and it's kind of a slow burn. It's not super action packed, but like you can't really be fucking around because you'll miss some information that you need. And like, there's some stuff that happens in it like kind of early on where you're like, whoa, if that happened now, then what are we gonna do then? And it's a good movie, man. I would love to hear y'all's opinion on it. I don't think that either of y'all will like it as much as I do, because y'all generally don't. When I'm that hype on a movie like that, it's generally something that y'all won't feel quite the same about. But I'd be a little surprised if y'all didn't like it. It's a really good movie. It's shot really well. It's really pretty locations too. Lots of cool shit out in the jungle. Lots of really pretty greens and like just pretty. It's a really pretty movie. But that's the only thing I really watched. I've been busy last week, so.
Yeah, I've been kind of busy. I watched a couple of things. I watched Shaft. I got the Criterion.
Dude, it's sitting right here on my desk, bro. I want to watch it so bad. I might watch it tonight now that you're saying you watched it, because Chris and I were going to watch something to kind of fall asleep to after this, because I got to get up and go to work tomorrow. I don't have time to do another video. I'm exhausted. But this would be kind of a cool watch. It's not a horror movie. She might enjoy watching something besides horror.
Yeah, I mean, that sort of stuff, like I can kind of throw on without having to be like super zoned in. So
yeah, it's fucking Shaft. You don't have to. Just the music is good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally fun movie, but you don't have to be like studying the themes and stuff. You know, it's pretty.
Dude, that'd be so hilarious if I come over, you broke out a notebook and got your glasses on, and you're like, what are you taking notes on? You're like, I'm studying Shaft. I'm like, you mean the one that's talking about like that guy's dick, basically? Shaft. Okay, cool. I'll sit down and enjoy it with you then. Let me get my own little memo book out. Fucking.
Didn't you watch another one, the kind of Roger Corman one?
Yeah, I watched another one called The Arena, which has Pam Grier in it.
I don't know if I've seen that one or not.
It's a Roger Corman like gladiator movie.
Hell yeah, I'm interested though.
She's like it's like about like sex slaves that become gladiators.
Let's go. It sounds amazing.
This sounds like my movie. I love Roger Corman.
Me too. Yeah, it's stupid and sleazy in 80 minutes. It's like,
well, me and you, Hugh, we have a lot more in common than we don't really talk many. We get together and we bullshit about so many other things, man. We don't even really talk movies half the time.
Yeah, that's true.
We got a lot of shit in common too, because there's a spot where I start to veer away from what Chris likes though, and I think you stick with him on that journey. But yeah, I think Josh is starting to get hypnotized into that trap of garbage ass movies.
I found that if like I want to watch a bad movie, I really enjoy the exploitation type movies.
That's my shit, bro. I'm glad you like them, man. I truly am glad that you enjoy those, because I will watch as many of those as you want to watch, and we could talk about them all the time because I love those movies.
I think they do they don't do exploitation like they used to.
No, not even close.
It's not politically correct.
Not even a little
bit. You get eviscerated for making a movie like that,
bro. Half the time when I cover those, I don't even want to talk about them because I don't want to get myself canceled. Dude, there's a reason why I haven't done a couple more that are on my list. I've already watched them and got some notes. I just haven't filmed it because I'm like, because I got to talk about some stuff that happens in the movie or some things that they said. And then I'm also going to giggle at parts that aren't really appropriate to laugh at because I'm a giant child.
Yeah. But I mean, those movies, like, if you're tired at the end of a long day or something, you can throw one of those on and just laugh. And
I was to say they're funny and they're entertaining.
Yeah, it's like
usually they got some good music and some good fight scenes and some good karate stuff and some punches that land from this far away.
Right. They're good time fillers. It's just like
I think they actually make you dumber though.
Probably.
But... You know any things that I do that make me dumber, Hugh? It is what it is, my guy. I'm like, challenge accepted. Let me throw in 5 of those tonight. Wake up tomorrow. Hey, y'all. Oh, shit. What did you watch last night? Shaft and Black Caesar. Oh, man. Yeah, dude. My buddy Jonathan just finally watched Pearl. I'm like, dude, you late to the party much? I'm like, what'd you think? And he's like, I liked it. I'm like, okay. Cool.
Man, I tried to get a buddy of mine to watch Pearl. I was like, this is one of the best movies out right now, and he hasn't yet. And I'm like, come on.
It's so good.
Pearl
that movie is so good.
Oh, I didn't see X yet.
Dude, I would rather watch Pearl first.
Really?
If I could, because it happens first, so that you kind of get an insight of who you're looking at during the other movie. Yeah, I like that idea of it, but I don't really care either. I just assume watching whatever. I don't really care, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it does build off of it in a weird way, though. Like, you're more invested in seeing that character's origin because you know what happens in X.
That's true. No, you're right. You're right. I don't really care. I'll watch them either way because they're both really great movies, in my opinion.
Agree.
I listened to an interview with Mia Goth in it, and she is just the sweetest little thing. And she's got this little proper British accent. I had no idea she was British. I think she's like part Brazilian and stuff. And but she's like really well spoken. And
who told me who she was married to? Was it you, Josh?
I think it might have been Hugh, isn't he? It's a
Shia
LaBeouf, right? Dude, my guy, bro. I love that dude. He's a fucking weird ass happy. He's a maniac. But I like that he's answering for his fucking mishaps, dude. He's out there like just living. He's standing on his actions and saying I'm sorry and saying I can't take it back, but I can still be a better person. And he's actually living it and proving it because, man, I got a lot of heat for doing a video on him recently. And I was like, first off, I didn't know he did all that stuff because I didn't know until real recently what he was done. Because I don't look into people's lives like that. I don't give a shit. I'm watching a movie.
You could spend all your time looking into people's lives and trying to do shit like that.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't. And so when I was like, I didn't even know that about him because they're mad because I don't want to cover that dude XXXTentacion because he was a admitted bully and woman beater. He admitted it. That's why I don't like him because he said it on a fucking video. I watched him say it, so I go, okay. There's no questions. I don't have to wonder if he did it or not. He definitely did it because he said he did it. And so I was like, and it's not even that I'm judging the guy. I don't care. Do you, bro? Like, I just have a lot of stuff I can cover, so I have to sift it out some way. So I was like, all right, cool, boom. One less thing I got to worry about. I don't have to cover this dude's videos. I don't want to cover some shit just so I can shit on a dude every time because I'm going to bring it up every time I watch his videos if I do it. So instead of doing that, I just didn't cover him, and people just couldn't handle it. They can't handle that I don't like a guy they like. And I'm like, dude, you can like whoever you want. I don't care. And they just – so with Shia LaBeouf, I didn't know that about him. So I was like going in. So that's when I went and watched about half of that interview with podcast with John Bernthal.
Mm-hmm.
And, look, he's different. He's not the same guy.
I love that podcast, man. I think that podcast is incredible. I've watched it like 3 times.
Oh man, it's a little corny for me, but it's
good. I see through some of it. I'm kind of like, he might be pushing it a little bit here.
But Bernthal does too. I'm like, bro, cut back a little bit, like rein it in a little bit, man. Like, you're an actor, dude. Like, we get it. Like, come on, man, chill out, bro. Like, but I understand Shia is point more than I do Bernthals. And maybe I'm misunderstanding Bernthal, but like I've been where Shia has been, not necessarily with a physical altercation, but with like drugs and stuff. So I understand that hatred. Like I get it. I understand looking at yourself and just hating yourself. So I know when he starts crying, I can feel it. I almost start crying. But it does get a little much at times, man. It's like, all right, you said the same thing 74 times, dude, is good. I would never watch that whole podcast more than once. I couldn't do it. But it is good, for sure. It definitely moved me.
Yeah, agreed.
Helped me learn a lot about a guy I already thought that I liked. You know, at least I hate whenever you like somebody and then you find out that they are genuinely a piece of shit, and you're like, fuck. You know, you're like, damn, I can't really, you know, like I can't even watch The Usual Suspects or any other giant group of movies because I can't hardly stomach looking at Kevin Spacey's face, even though he's a fantastic actor.
He ruined that for me.
Dude, he ruined so many good movies for me, man.
Ruined it.
It sucks because he's like one of my favorite actors.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's so good, but he's such a scummy dude. But in all fairness, I think if you really want to look inside and look at the internal stuff of what's going on, most people, I can admit that I'm a piece of shit sometimes. Most people can't, and so I also think maybe we don't have the right to say so much about Kevin Spacey because he did a lot of gnarly shit, but so did I. You know, I robbed some people, I stole a bunch of shit, I did a bunch of dope. I got some people hooked on dope. Like that shit's no better than what he did, man. Like I am no better, you know.
Fucking famous though. Like you would have just I don't know, you know, degree of temptation, but it seems like if you were famous and had everything at your feet and your fingertips, like it would just be that much more intensive.
Inner strength is a hard thing to come by, man. Like people don't have it. Willpower.
And then the fall, like if you did fall from grace, if you will, you would just it would be devastating.
Yeah, bro, it'd be. Well, look, I have empathy as well because I don't know that he doesn't wake up every day miserable because of the things that he's doing or did or wants or does or likes. I don't know that. So if he wakes up hating himself, that sucks too, man. I'm not gonna judge people. It just hurts to watch stuff now. I'm like, I don't know if I can watch this and feel the same way, but. I also get so tired of people not understanding that you can feel that way. Like, dude, I'm never going to claim to be perfect. I don't know. I think I just got wiser as I got older, man. I didn't think this way when I was in my 20s. So I don't expect other 20-year-olds to. So, but it's hard because a lot of my audience is young, and it's hard talking with them about this stuff because they just don't get it yet, and they're not going to until they're old enough to.
Didn't he win his court case recently?
I don't know, but that'd be cool if he did. Make me feel a little bit better about watching. Fucking,
I might be way off, but I feel like
turns out he's in prison. We're like, oh shit.
I mean, I just remember. I just think I remember seeing some sort of headline where he.
Well, good man. I hope he did because that would be a little bit of relief. I mean, I don't know what it all really means, but it would at least mean that there's not just some kind of absolute concrete evidence of some fuckery out there because,
Yeah, or he's fucking done. Let's just be real. He's
done. His career's done, and he's gotten super weird too. He's like doing these Christmas speeches in like the character of that guy from House of Cards.
Yeah, like it was so weird. He came up with a bunch of like YouTube videos talking about that, and then his whole like in the closet gay thing, which came out immediately, and like no one was surprised, bro. Like everyone.
I always thought it was a kind of a well-known thing that he was gay, or at least bi. And so when I found out, I was like, "Wait, you're surprised?" I was like, "Shit, I didn't know. Maybe I should have been surprised too. I didn't realize that."
Dude, even in House of Cards, there's some like bi shit in there.
I mean, the vibe comes through his roles and it comes through the screen.
Well, have you seen what is it? American Beauty? Oh my goodness gracious, bro.
Yeah,
that's like where he got the idea, I guess.
Oh God,
I think that movie's a little overrated. I used to really like it, but I watched it again a couple years ago and was like, "That's not as good as I thought it was, or not as good as I remembered it being."
People kind of shit on it now. It's been a while since I've seen it, but
Thora Birch. I like Thora Birch in Ghost World. That's where I first heard Bikini Kill when I was real young. I didn't know who that was. I was like, dude, this song's awesome.
Doesn't that have
Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah. I'm more of a Thora Birch guy.
I've never seen it.
No? You might like it. It's got Steve Buscemi in it too.
I've been wanting to watch it because I've heard it's really good.
I think you'd like it, man. It's got a bunch of vinyl and stuff in it, record collecting nerds and stuff.
Buscemi like. Kind of, he appeals to that sort of collecting, kind of bookish, weird, introverted
yes,
dude.
Yes, he does. Yeah. He looks like he would hang out with us.
Buscemi is the best. He like makes every movie better.
He's awesome. Dude. He's a rad dude.
Just one of those character actors, oh shit, this movie's gonna be great.
Right.
Buscemi's in it.
I saw a TV show. I can't remember what it's called, but they dug into like his family history, and they went way back to like his roots and shit. And he found out that I think his grandfather or great grandfather committed suicide, and it like really impacted him on the show. Like he was devastated. Wow. So I don't know. I don't know why I always distinctly remember that about Buscemi.
How would you feel if you found out that somebody you never met that you were related to killed? I don't know that I would even care. I'd be like,
I don't know,
that's
but
weird. I mean,
I think he was like just surprised at how hopeless the guy felt, and I think maybe he's had those feelings in spite of the fact that
if you're feeling something like that too, then that would change the entire.
That
but like,
makes sense.
I've never met my grandparents, for example, like any of them. Like there's one photograph of my grandma from my mom's side holding me when I was 8 months old. That's the only photograph of anybody holding me. I never met my grandfather on my mom or dad's side, or my grandmother on my dad's side ever. They were all dead before I was born, right? And my dad wasn't really around a whole lot. I don't really know talk to my brother. So like family stuff doesn't affect me the way that it does other people. And I know that. Like losing my mom will be horrendous. But aside from that, like family stuff doesn't, like I lost my aunt who I was very close to, dude. Like she had like some mental stuff going on, and I used to go stay with her for like a week at a time and like help her out around the house. And she used to take me on bus rides. She's how I learned how to ride the Metro bus. I learned how to be poor living with her, dude. Like I learned how to do it because there's a certain way you have to live when you don't have money, because just getting around town is extremely hard, especially in somewhere like Houston where it's real spread out. So I learned how to just survive at a young age. And so when she died, it was super out of nowhere, man. This story's fucked, bro. Check this out. So she had a little dog. His name was Joey. He was like a little tiny fluffy dog, right? It was like her everything, man. Like, you remember how Poncho was to me? Imagine that, dude, magnified like 10, dude. This dog was her everything. She didn't have a husband. She didn't have kids. This was her life. And so she had a heat stroke whenever I was with her one time, and I was like 10 years old. It was just us two by ourselves getting off the Metro bus. Heat stroke, collapsed on the ground right in front of me, right? So I saved her. I basically got in touch with the ambulance to get us to the hospital. So I was always super connected with her. Well, one day when I was like 17 or 18, maybe 18, I was waiting tables, so I had to be 18. So I was 18 years old, and I get a phone call. My mom's like, hey, I was at work, and she's like, hey, your Aunt Audrey had another stroke and she's in a coma. And I was like, whoa, like it just fucked me up, right? And so like maybe a few days go by, I get another phone call at work. Her apartment building got set on fire and burned to the ground, and her dog died. And she lost everything. She lost the only two things that I ever knew a woman care about was her dog and her photographs of her family. And all that stuff went up in smoke. And she never made it out of the coma. And my mom said, like, the saddest shit that I've ever heard. My mom said, it's probably better that she didn't wake up, because if she had woke up and found out that she lost that dog, she probably have killed over right there in the spot. That's a fucking bummer of a story. But like my point was that like when that happened, I was really close to her, and I barely cried. Like I was really upset, but I barely cried, and I'm a crier, dude. Like I get moved easily. I barely cried, and I don't even think I went to the funeral. Well, that I think was because I was trying to I refused to what do you call it? Believe that it was happening. Yeah, I wasn't admitting that she was gone, but like I don't react the same way some people do. Like shit, at my dad's funeral, I played a prank on the preacher guy, like at the funeral. Well, he was like walking around talking about my dad like he knew him, and he didn't, and so it pissed me off. And so I'm sitting next to my sister, and I was sitting next to Jeremy on the other side of me, and I was like, they were like, "What are you laughing at, bro?" And I was like, "Just watch." And I blew my nose into my hand. And if you can imagine what that's like when you're crying that much because you lost your dad, it was gross. And the guy walks by, and he's grabbing everybody's hands and shaking their hands and being like, "Sorry for your loss. Sorry for your loss." And he walks over to me and goes, "Sorry for your loss." And I just looked at him, and I winked at him, and he winked back at me. He winked back at me and just kept on going. Switched hands and started shaking up his hand with his left hand. And my sister and my buddies got we were all in trouble because they could not stop laughing, dude. It was like this is like the saddest day of my life, man. I don't want to cry. I want to laugh. Dude. I'm tired of being sad. But yeah, Anyways, I react different to shit, man. I don't know.
Funerals are weird anyway, man. I don't think anybody knows how to.
I hate them, dude.
And they're like, "Oh, do a speech and get up here and let's carry the body."
Bro. If I die before you guys, feel free to just put me on a catapult and launch me while you're playing some Rancid and be like, "Well, that was fun," and then just go about your day. Like, you're like, what is that pot-bellied dude flopping through the air doing? What's that? Oh my god, he's dead. And it's just blah, hits a house. Maybe I'll ruin somebody's dinner. That'd be kind of nice. Go out trolling some folks. Let's go. Just some little kid that's on the verge of being like a mass murderer. I come flying through his window and it just ruins him. And now he's stuck not being a murderer because he's in a fucking home. Like, wow. I can save a lot of people.
That's dark.
I guess, yeah, I guess it is. I know. I was looking at it from like I can save a lot of people. I can be a hero.
We just traumatized him. He's in a home now.
I'll traumatize him into not killing a bunch of folks, man. That's what I was trying to say.
Traumatized. We talked about Kevin Spacey.
Holy crap!
Yo, hey, maybe I should write
a roller coaster.
Maybe I should write a story, like a short story about this, because that would be kind of a funny story, bro. A guy who dies and like gets catapulted into a house, and this kid who was going to be a mass murderer gets traumatized and is now stuck in a like psych ward now and doesn't end up killing these people. But one of the people that he didn't kill ends up growing up to be Hitler. Like, what the fuck happened, dude?
I think that when
it can do anything. You can do whatever you want. Do what?
You should be catapulted naked. And then
I was definitely thinking that too. It's like
you're gonna be catapulted, flopping around.
You gotta have shit just flipping and flopping. Lots of ghibli.
Oh my goodness gracious! And the things that I want to say are so
reverberates through your body.
I already found a way to like save people. And then after that, I was like, oh, then one of the kids grows up to be a fucking worst human in history of people. But like you could paint my face up like John Wayne Gacy or something.
I was just thinking the thing that traumatized him wasn't that you were catapulted into his house, but that you were naked.
Oh my goodness, dude. Oh, bro. I'm in, dude. Where's the paperwork? I'm signing. Chris is going to be so sad. So disappointed. You know what? She wouldn't even be surprised if this was in my last wishes. She'd be like, yeah, no shit. I already got the catapult being built, fellas. Like, he was a crazy idiot, wasn't he? Bricken would just be like, that's not how you build that. You got to make it like this. He wouldn't even be concerned about me.
It's not aerodynamic enough.
Let's go. Let's catapult some dead folks, y'all. What the fuck are we talking about?
I don't even know, man.
All right, let's get out of here. So the next week's video, the movie for this week is going to be Cape Fear.
Cape Fear.
We've been talking about watching it. I don't really have the time to sit and think of another movie that's not. I have it on the board for like a backup. This is the good week for the backup. I don't have nothing else.
The Robert De Niro one, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think that movie holds up, and I'm looking forward to finding out if I'm right, because it might not hold up, but I think it does.
It does. It's Martin Scorsese.
Oh shit! I don't want to watch that then. I think you said that before, and I was surprised. I forgot that it's a Scorsese film.
Yes, but it's a remake.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Robert Mitchum and Gregory Peck.
I asked which one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, I didn't know if maybe they made like a newer version of it or something. Is what I was thinking.
No, like old they have 62.
They have like a bunch of movies that come out like I don't know how to say this without sounding like a dickhead, so I'm not trying to sound like a dick to anybody, but like they'll make a movie will come out, and then like 15 years later, like somebody like Tyler Perry will come along and remake it with a whole black cast, and they did that with a few movies recently, and I thought maybe like that might have happened with Cape Fear, because why wouldn't it? That'd be a great thing for them to make another movie about, because it's a pretty old film at this point. So
yeah,
fine. I mean, there's clearly an older one now I didn't know about, but I thought maybe that's what you were mentioning. What was the movie I watched? Damn it! Oh, they have one. Oh crap! I think it might be like In the Mouth of Madness or something, but it's a whole nother. No, I don't know if I figure out what movie it was, because I got excited and I watched it, and boy was it terrible. I was like, holy shit, is this bad? Like, it's really bad. Like it's all a bunch of C-list actors. It's not anybody super famous, but I find a couple of those I found Idris Elba in, and I was like, hell yeah, because I fuck with that dude heavy, man. He's always good in movies. But
yeah, for sure.
Awesome, dude. Cape Fear. I don't know what my schedule is looking like this week. So I don't know really when this will happen. Oh shit! What's today? Tuesday. I should be getting my schedule. I should have already gotten it. I wonder. Hold on. I'll find out in a little bit and tell you guys. If I don't have it tonight, I'll have it tomorrow. But awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll see y'all in a week or so with Cape Fear, Robert De Niro. Who else is in that one? It's got
Juliette Lewis.
Juliette Lewis, who I've always had a crush on. And what's the guy, her dad? Who's her dad?
Nick Nolte.
It is Nick Nolte. Okay, Nick Nolte's in it. Dude, great film, man. So I hope you guys watch it and enjoy it. And we'll talk with you guys about it in a week or so. Peace. Sure.